arrived at Kings Island Camp Cedar Campground. It's basically a campground next to a giant amusement park called Kings Island. There's our chase vehicle. It's extremely windy. It's blowing plants over. Oh my goodness. But we've arrived. We're all set up. I'm gonna have to find a solution for the plants that got blown over. Sherry's enjoying the nice breeze. A little bit of shade that we're getting here. Very hot. Actually, it's more humid and muggy. But it's decent little. It's a small site. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about the campsite yet. It's a decent site. The nice thing is it's on concrete. So don't have to deal with gravel. I don't know what's up with the levelness of the site, but our leveling system struggled a little bit with it, but I've heard about that with the reviews of this campground as well. But we are here. We're kind of right next, that's the main office country store there. They swing about. Over here is a swimming pool. And we're actually at the very, very end of the campground. So the rest of the campground is over in that direction. All right. More to come on the Camp Cedar at Kings Island Campground. So this is the main entrance. This is where you would pull in and check in. There's plenty of room if you have an RV and other vehicles, but not sure what happens if they get really busy. Not a lot of, well, I guess there's a little pull-in space over on the other side there. This is the main camp store. This is where you would go to check in. It's called Coyote Creek. Next to it is the Hornbeam Ground Lounge. Grand Lounge. I'll have to check out what that is later. I think it's just an area where you can come in, get out of the heat, relax. This is the check-in area. And I see a lot of golf carts over here. They all have numbers on them. I'm pretty sure you can rent those. You may see basketball hoops on the other side there, so we've got some basketball courts. Our campsite is right across the street from the main outdoor pool. Here you can see, looking in on some of the cabanas. Again, I'm willing to bet these are rented. Across the way you can see Belize Street. The little grills and bars. Walk this way a little bit. Here's the outdoor pool. I'll try to change my angle a little bit so the sun's not coming in. Typically I'm doing these things very early. So we're getting sunrise here. Just get an idea. This is a resort, so it is a rather large facility. People are here not just to camp, they're here to vacation and have some fun. So we're going to go in and check out the fitness center. So you have a machine here to do various exercises and weight lifts. You have a couple of elliptical trainers, a couple of treadmills, and then a couple of stationary bicycles, some free weights over there. I bet those are weighted balls. And some of the, I don't know what they call them, tension bands, something along those lines. Here's the fitness center. There I am. So I'm going to go into this laundry facility. It's not very well marked, but it is in here. It is air conditioned. That's very nice. So you have 4 sets of, well, that's dryers. So washers on the bottom, dryers on the top. The interesting thing is you can pay by credit card. So no quarters are required. I don't even think there's a spot to put quarters in this facility. And then you have a little place over here to fold things. So that's the laundry facility here at Kings Island Camp Cedar. So many of the sites have these things. This one's not covered. Most of them are covered. You can kind of see the white covering over there. Oh yeah, all the sites are, every site I've seen has a little barbecue hibachi thing. But I think this is a gas fire pit, if I'm not mistaken. So let me see if I can get this off again. Oop. You see like a little gas ring in there with some stones. So I'm willing to bet it is a nice little fire ring. Don't know. I guess if you don't want to burn firewood and you like to have a little bit of a fire going, that'll work. There's actually 2 pools here. They're right next to each other. This one here, I'm going to guess is an adult-only pool. Not sure what the minimum age is to be able to come into this area. But since there's not a lot of fun and game things here, just a lot of lounge chairs and cabanas, I'm going to guess this is a adult-only pool. They have this walking path that kind of goes outside of the area. I don't think it's completed yet. You can get an idea of it. These are some of the cabins. I'm not going to obsess on the cabins on this campground. There are a lot of them. This little trail here goes right through the woods. It's kind of a nice little walking path, but it's not quite completed yet. Belize Street. So this is going to be, at least yesterday, it was fairly popular. This is the outdoor pool. You can see the Camp Cedar pool. I'm a little early, so it's not open quite yet. They have lifeguards. So there are lifeguards on duty. You can kind of see the pool there. They have a shallow area here for younger kids. Some shade. I can see cabanas. I'm sure those are rented. Now, I definitely want to check this out when it's open, because it looks like you have an ice cream place here. There's a grill, the Route 66 grill. Walk over that way. Urban Cow. Check out the menu here. Got some hand-dipped ice cream, some soft serve. This is a resort, so things are expensive. So here's the Route 66 grill. It's full of burgers and fries and hot dogs and things of that nature. Over here you have, it looks like a Mexican place, so fresh tortillas. And then on this side, across the fake grass, the grass cracks me up, we have, I think that's bocce ball, shuffleboard. That's the main camp store in the background there, and a little kid's playground going on right here. And I will circle back this way. As a side note, as you look across the way over there, that's where our campsite is. So we kind of overlook the outdoor pool area. And this is the Beach Box Bar. There might be a menu on the other side, but there's places to sit. And obviously there's all these tables out here as well. It's the Beach Box Cantina. Looks like it serves some handcrafted cocktails and frozen beverages, plus you can get some beer, some soft drinks, and some munchies. So this is Belize Street. Definitely want to check this out. Goddard, who's here? Goddard, who came to visit you?
Mom?
That would be Bryce.
Hey, Mitch. Hello?
There's Mitch's big head.
Go ahead and say,
Oh,
Mitch, the son I always wanted.
No.
It was better.
Yeah. Mitch, how are you?
Good.
So Bryce came to visit us.
Hello.
Hello, YouTube world.
Hello, 6 subscribers.
We have like 49 now. I might be exaggerating.
Normal people do. Goddard, stop.
All right.
Whatever you're doing.
Goddard's getting into trouble. Jerry wants to go back inside because it's nice and cool.
That's what I was saying. I moved him out. I think I could see rain. My dad said that's going to blow him up.
Yeah, things are cool.
All right. Of course, the street that we're parked on has to be called Buckeye Way. The irony. Who is it, Goddard? Jerry! Look who came to visit! There he is. You saw him yesterday.
That doesn't make it any less exciting.
Hi!
Jerry's like, it's my best friend.
Who came to visit you, Goddard? You remember Brooke? All right. Very exciting.
Hi! Hi! How are
Hello
you?
for day 2.
Jerry! Jerry! Hi!
There's Jerry being Jerry.
Goddard! And Goddard. So this is the... I don't know.
What'd you get there, Andrea?
I don't know. It's a fruit plate of beer. Yeah. So they're all like fruit flavors. So this is a plum.
What do you got over there, Bryce? choice spot?
Oh, yours is the Stealth, Cruise, Grounded, and Saison.
Squadron and Cedar.
All people are getting here on the video is the background noise, so it really doesn't matter.
I'm still trying to figure out which one this one is.
That's a pretty elegant game.
Oh, pineapple.
Okay, so this is one corner of the campground, and you can see it has a sign, but it's definitely under construction, right? So it's not developed back there yet. But I believe they're probably putting in more campsites back there. I can look back towards the main camp area. This is the road we are parked along. It's a pretty basic setup. You have various roads going back and forth around the oval that encircles the main camping area. The sites, visually, they look very, very nice. Obviously, it's not full here. And then on the other side of the oval road that goes around the campground are the cabins. So kind of going back to if you want the campground experience without camping in a tent or an RV, these cabins are a great way to go. And this is another bathhouse and laundry room. Most of the sites are very, very similar. I don't see any, or I haven't seen any pull-throughs, which is a little unusual. I mean, pull-throughs are often useful, but I guess at a resort you're going to be staying for a while, so you don't need to have that quick in and out. But one of the things, so I'm walking uphill. It's not a super steep hill, but it is a hill nonetheless. And one of the things that I read in the reviews is that they did not do a good job of leveling these sites, and I can now see what they mean. Basically, they had these really, really nice concrete pads, and don't get me wrong, parking on a concrete pad is great. But you would think that they would raise this side up a little bit to kind of level off the actual the pad itself, instead of having to rely on your leveling system to make it work. Ours, the way we're positioned, we're actually kind of at the top of the hill going down instead of being like on the side of the hill here. And so our front end is off the ground because of the leveling. Now every site has its own parking spot. So this is site 358 over here. You pull your back your RV in there, and you have a nice little parking spot. Nice touch. It does take away some of the room, and the picnic tables are nice. Almost all the sites have these pine trees, which is great too visually, very, very aesthetic visually. However, it takes away room. You just don't have as much room to kind of sit around. So, looks nice, but I think they could have done a better job leveling off these pads. I mean, if you're going through all the trouble to put in a pad, a concrete pad, go ahead and level them off. You can also see the trash cans. Trash cans are all over the place here, so there's no reason to have any litter on the ground whatsoever. There's always a trash can nearby, as if you need a reason to throw stuff on the ground. So kind of away from the main campground in the building, the main office store building, is this, for the lack of a better term, auxiliary campground, auxiliary sites. These are all paved, but they don't have the cement pad. But to be honest, they seem a little flatter out here than the ones in the main campground, because they're kind of on a hill. And back there, the sun's coming up, so getting a lot of sun glare. But back here, a lot of empty sites. And I believe I mentioned earlier how campgrounds are, or we're hearing that campgrounds are full and it's hard to get a campsite. Here's a place where you can get a campsite. Now, I know if you're full-time and you're looking to save money, a luxury RV resort is probably not for you. But if you just need a couple of days and you're looking for a place to set up, you have an amusement park nearby, you got a lot of things to do here at the campground. There are sites out here. So, one of the conveniences here at Kings Island Camp Cedar is that it is right off the interstate, I-71. It goes towards Cincinnati, between Cincinnati and Columbus. But it's really close to I-71, so that's I-71 down there. Obviously you get some traffic noise, and then folks living here, obviously I don't know how well insulated these cabins are, but you are really just a couple hundred yards from the interstate, and all the traffic out there, which I'm sure is coming through on the audio. I'm not going to obsess too much on the cabins. This campground here, the Camp Cedar at Kings Island, has, I almost want to call them little villages though. So you can kind of see all the cabins that are here. I'll continue moving along. And these actually seem pretty full. I don't know how many of these are open. There's a few I can tell that are open, but you can see a lot of cars here, a lot of people. So I guess if you're visiting Kings Island Camp Cedar, I don't know what the cost of these I don't know what the cost of these are versus a hotel room here in the area, but they have a shuttle bus that goes directly to the amusement park, and might be a good way to stay. Just stay here at Kings Island if you want to, or at Camp Cedar if you want to visit the Kings Island amusement park. So back in one of the cabin areas here, these carts are everywhere. Again, these are to help you get your stuff from your car to your cabin, because some of these cabins it's a little bit of a walk. So these carts make it handy to kind of load them up with stuff, take them to the cabin, and get on with your vacation here at Kings Island Camp Cedar.
Hi everyone, Tim and Andrea here. I'm Tim.
I'm Andrea.
And this is TNA Adventures. Thanks for watching the video.
Yeah, we're here today to review Camp Cedar in Ohio. I think the official name is Kings Island Camp Cedar Luxury RV Resort.
Luxury is the key there.
Yes. It is near Cincinnati, Ohio, right near Kings Island Amusement Park.
Right, major amusement park. Think Six Flags. In our neck of the woods, our old neck of the woods, Hershey
Park, Dorney Park.
Great Adventure.
Yeah.
Things like that. So major amusement park right next door to Camp Cedar.
Yes.
So what else is going on in Cincinnati?
In Cincinnati, Ohio, there's tons of stuff. There's, I don't know, baseball, soccer. Most importantly to us, though, our eldest son lives in Cincinnati, Ohio, so we got to see him, Brooke.
Bryce.
I mean, well, I don't know if I was supposed to say her name.
Yeah.
Well, sorry.
I'm not going to edit this out.
Yeah. Okay.
We'll just keep going.
Yeah. We also
We'll
saw.
get back to him.
We also saw her family. You'll hear about it.
So Brooke would be Bryce's girlfriend.
Okay.
Well,
Yeah. Okay. Anyway.
So
let's talk about the campground.
Well, Cincinnati's a big city. You mentioned the Reds. They have a soccer team. They might have a football team.
Well, yeah, but it's not football season yet.
Well, Hall of Fame game was the other night.
Dude, start talking about the campground.
So the campground, it's a luxury RV resort. I actually kind of almost think of it like almost like a cruise ship kind of thing. It had a restaurant. It had cabanas you could rent by the pool.
It had two pools, an adult pool, a kids pool, well, I guess family pool. The family pool had like this waterfall thing.
Basketball hoop
kids,
things,
kids playing it. They provided little balls that that you can play with in there. Along the back of the pool was, what was it called?
Belize Street. Street. So it had a couple little restaurant, like little walk-up burger fry joint places. It had a bar. None of it was open while we were there, so we can't tell you what that was like. I'm not sure why it wasn't open.
Well, yeah, and we were there during the week, so it might only be open on weekends. We don't know.
The campground itself was laid out. It's certainly planned. I guess most campgrounds are planned the way they lay them out, but this was almost like very obvious, a big giant circle all the way around.
Which were all like back end spots, and then
lanes.
in the center, some were back end, some were pull in. There was actually another section on the other side with campers there. I
called it the auxiliary campground.
Yeah, and then they were still building, so because there was one of those roads that kind of just dead ended, and you could tell they were going to build there.
Every site, at least in the main area where we were, every site has a concrete pad, which is always nice. More on that here in a few moments. Every site was very similar. It had these pine trees. It had a little patio, picnic table. More on that in a moment.
Yeah. They also had their own parking spot. So it was like there was your spot where like our RV went in the spot, and then we put the car in our little parking spot. It was all part of your site.
Yeah.
So if you were pulling something, you could put your truck there.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So we mentioned the pools. It had some basketball courts. You could rent golf carts if you want them. It had like a little playground. They did a movie night the last night we were there, which was obviously fun for the kids. They were playing Cars 2, as you were reliably informed.
Yes. By a small child,
he knew. But in terms of a lot of things to do for the kids, but heck, you have an entire amusement park and splash park next door, and they have a shuttle bus.
Yeah, they have a shuttle bus that we don't know where it picks up, but we saw people being dropped off at their campsites at the end of the day.
Right.
And I know when you called to reserve the site, they asked if we wanted to buy tickets for Kings Island as part of our
total plan.
Yeah.
So that's all things that the campground had. There's a little walking trail. The campground's still under construction. That's you can tell that they're adding on in the one corner. It also has a lot of cabins, and I know I seem to obsess with the cabins, but if you want to go camping but you're not quite ready to do the campground experience or RV experience, we're really roughing it ourselves, in our motorhome. But
I don't know what they cost relative to a hotel room, if they're a better value or not, but they very, very nice cabins. They're like set up in these little villages all around the outside of the main campground. So if you want to check something like that out, I would check it out if you want to go to Kings Island.
Yeah. All right.
Well, a couple things that we got to do. We mentioned our eldest son and his girlfriend Brooke live in the area, so we got to see them a couple of nights. And shout out to the Marstons, Brooke's family, Drew and Kirsten. They recommended that we all meet up at a
little brew pub,
brew pub, fairly close to the campground.
It was called Cartridge Brewing, close by. It's an old converted factory. Apparently, it used to be an ammunition factory. Learned some couple cool facts about it.
Yeah.
Having it grow trees to leach the lead out of the soil.
Yeah.
So it was a nice place, good food. The pickled bacon pizza was excellent.
Pickled bacon pizza.
Yeah, it was good. The beer was good.
Yeah. Manhattans were good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean the food was very much what you would expect from a nice little brew pub.
It was very nice. So if you are in the area, that's a
Cartridge Brewery. I would absolutely check them out. And thanks again for Kirsten and Drew for recommending
it. Yeah, it was a lot nice.
That was a good time.
All right, let's just get to the likes and dislikes about the campsite.
Well, I mean, I would say, especially if I had younger kids, I would like that it's so close to Kings Island and their splash park. Very easy access. I mean, you don't have to worry about parking or anything like that with the shuttle bus, so that would be good. The pool looks great. We didn't really partake. We did do the laundry.
We did laundry,
we
yes.
did do the laundry, so we did laundry.
Yes. Laundry was a total of $4 for a load, $2 for each wash and dry. I like that the machines always tell you exactly how long they're going to take, so I always set a timer on my phone so I know when to go back. If I wasn't working, I would have just gone to the pool while waiting for my laundry to be done. But
right, and it's credit card only, so you don't have to
worry about porters
or anything like that down there. So that was good. It had a little fitness center that obviously I took advantage of. Not. So there were some nice things about the campground. Now there were some things that we didn't really like about the campground. I'll start with how the campground, the concrete pads are great, but they didn't do anything, especially in the hilly areas, to kind of raise them up and level them. So they followed the contour of the hill, meaning that if you're trying to level an RV, you're going to have some challenges. Bring your box to level. Our leveling system never actually got leveled very well. But we were only there for a couple of days, so I didn't go too deeply into trying to figure it out.
Yeah, but we did. We ended up using the blocks because the back jacks wouldn't come down all the way because it was like, oh no, you're level. It's like, no, we're not level.
And what did you think of those little pine trees? So every site has these 3 pine trees.
I think they're actually arborvitae, but whatever. They're little bush trees. They're next to, the pad ends here, and then they put the pine trees in, or whatever bushes they are, and there's 3 of them, and it's really kind of goofy because there's still like 2 to 3 feet of space on the other side of them, but you feel like that's not your space anymore. So it's like if they would have moved those pine trees a couple feet further so that they were closer to the electric box for the next site, you would have felt like you had room, because between the picnic table and having the table out for the griddle, it felt like we had absolutely no space.
Yeah, very little space.
On
and
the patio.
The sites are very close with space.
Yeah. They were very narrow.
Some of the sites have gas rings, which I think would have been cool, but ours didn't have that one. But the other feature of our site was, and this is for safety purposes because it's a parking lot and all around.
Location.
Yeah, because we were right across from the main pool, which I thought was going to be an issue with noise during the day, but it wasn't. But the parking lot lights that are very bright, and our site was lit up all night long with this bright
like
light.
A Christmas tree.
Not every spot in the campground was like that. So if we were further
back, it would have been a big deal. But the biggest problem, other than the site being lit up. I mean, because I'm okay sitting outside with that light on, but the rear slide out goes a little bit further than our middle slide out, and that light shone directly into the bedroom. And any of you guys that have rigs, yes, you have a shade. However, they're not room darkening, they're not anything like that. So that light shone right into the bedroom. I am not a good sleeper to start with, so that light really bothered me. So I actually scooched down a couple inches on the bed so that light wasn't in my eyes. Other people who can sleep through anything, it wasn't an issue, so it just really depends on you.
And everybody that's watching is saying, but you have that big darkening curtain.
I know, and this is helped to protect from heat.
Yes.
This is something we also put up there because it was so hot that I actually went out to Target and bought this curtain, which is one of those light blocking things to help keep heat out.
So in the spirit of the good and the bad and the ugly of life on the road,
Let's get to the ugly.
We experienced our first major mechanical issue while on the road at Kings Island. It's not the campground's fault, obviously. But we have 2 slide outs. So we have, she mentioned the bedroom slide out. We also have the dinette kitchen slide out. And we were packing up. We're ready to bring the slide out in. It came in a couple inches and stopped. And it would just kind of...
Yeah, it was like
part of it would move, the
one
other
of the
part
motors
wasn't,
almost. Yeah, it was like coming in crooked.
You go to
our wood's buckled on there now, so
you go to the YouTube. You try to find different ways to diagnose it. We have a Schwinn Tech. It's called a Lippert Schwinn Tech system. I'm not going to go into the details on what that means, but we tried everything we could, and it's like, well, we need help, professionals.
Yeah.
Fortunately, a lot of campgrounds and a lot of different areas, they have mobile techs, so they'll send a technician to your place. But getting somebody there, like in an emergency right away,
it's tough.
It's tough. Now we did get a person that came out. He was a bit of a coot, but he was helpful. Super nice guy. Willie.
Willie's my buddy.
We tried a couple different things, and finally we just forced. He and I just kind of.
I stood here
pushed it in,
hitting the retract button, and they just pushed. So we don't know if something was stuck in that track or what, but the thing that added to the stress of the whole situation is the campground was like, no, we're full this weekend, because it was a Friday morning. They're like, no, we're full this weekend, you have to get out. And we're kind of like,
you can't drive with the slide out.
Yeah, and then like as we're waiting for the guy to show up, and the golf cart guy is driving by every 10 minutes seeing if we're gone. He even made a comment about, oh, you guys are finally leaving, when we were
he wasn't
leaving.
He wasn't ugly about it.
But it was just one of those like
okay,
we know we're late, but
so we're actually at our next destination now. We're gonna have tomorrow. We're gonna have another one of those traveling technicians come out and take a look. So when we got to the site that we're at now, we were like, let's give it a try, and it went out just fine.
And we tried
bringing
it back in,
and it started to come in just fine. So we put it out. We're leaving it out, and then we'll have a professional take a look. And as we were driving here, I noticed that our house batteries have died. So there's 2 sets of batteries in an RV. There's the battery actually in a motorhome. There's the battery that operates your engine, and then there's house batteries. Those are dead, and they were getting a little squirrely, I thought. I didn't look into it too deeply, but there's a lot of things that run on the house batteries that, if you're not plugged in, do not work. And so,
give us an example.
Well, so when I put my turn signals on left and right, I have a little camera on my dashboard that'll pop up and show what's going on. Those apparently need battery to run. The little USB chargers need the battery to run. The water pump needs the battery to run. So there's a few things that now that we're plugged into shore power, they all work.
Everything,
But on battery power, not so much. So we'll have that tech take a look at that tomorrow, and I think cha-ching is going to be the word of the day once he's all said and done. Yeah. But other than that, we're here. It's been an adventure.
It has.
The adventure continues.
Yeah, so Camp Cedar we have to rate.
Oh, so Camp Cedar.
So, and again, we're doing this on value, so just kind of keep that in mind.
So value, whatever other things are in our mind.
Yeah, that's true.
So I was giving two paws.
Right, he was giving it 2 paws. I was going to give it 3.
3.
So we'll give it 2.5.
2.5 paws.
No, you're 2. You put 2.
2.
And, we'll get this sooner or later. But it was really because,
Yeah.
I mean, if you think about it, like, yeah, there was stuff to do there, but I think the KOAs we've been at had more stuff for, like, kids to actually do.
If you're going to Kings Island or doing stuff around Cincinnati, have at it.
Yeah,
if you're staying there just to camp, probably not the best.
I mean,
probably not the best campground.
it's a nice campground.
Yeah.
But if you're
it's not that we don't recommend you staying there. It's just know what you're getting into.
Yeah.
So I guess that's about it.
That is.
There's a subscribe button. I think it's down here. Unless the camera reverses it, it'll be down here.
We don't know.
So please subscribe. If you like what you see, hit the like button, and we'll see you down the road.
Yep.
All right. Bye, everyone.
Bye.